Hello and welcome everyone to one of the most highly anticipated weekends of the season in collegiate rowing. We have a massive program lined up for you today at Redwood Shores, where we have 3 collegiate duels that will be taking place, including the top 2 programs from each IRA men's and NCAA women's collegiate rowing. On the open weight women's side, the defending NCAA champions and current number 1 seed Stanford will host current number 2, the University of Texas. And on the men's side, the current number 2 seed California will host the defending IRA champions and number 1 ranked Washington Huskies. The Cal-Washington duel needs almost no introduction as one of the most iconic rivalries in our sport. And here to help tell the stories of this year's duel are 2 California legends who have been the voices of Cal rowing since time immemorial. It's Mark Zemsch and Adrian McConnell, along with me, Megan Calmo, not a Golden Bear, but a big fan of the duel. Mark, we have not 1, not 2, but 3 separate duels taking place at Redwood Shores today, with the lightweight women from Stanford and BU getting the party started for us with the first race of the day. But what can we expect to see out there today as all eyes turn to these duels?
So today will be the 114th race in a rivalry that began in 1903. The Cal-Washington duel remains the most competitive, most heated rivalry in college rowing. Today's winner, either Cal or Washington, will not only claim the coveted Shock Cup, but will be the number 1 ranked crew in the country. Essentially the same as it ever was. For the last 100 plus years, that's been the story. For decades, the winner of the duel later became the Olympic champion. Over the last 5 years, the winner has gone on to win the IRA National Championship 1 month later. I fully expect next month's national champion will be either Cal or Washington for the 6th year in a row. You know, it's funny, Megan, when I was competing in this as a coach and as a coxswain, reporters would come up and say, what do you think about the duel? And I said, well, first of all, you've misspelled it. It's D-U-E-L, because only one of us is coming out of this thing alive.
Well, that's a rivalry in and of itself. Which side of the spelling war are you on, duel or duel?
Exactly. And just to preview this morning's men's races, last year, 4 of the 5 races were decided by a half length or less. I think we're going to be in for a treat. We're going to see essentially the same close racing all the way down the regatta. All right, the next race is the 3rd varsity 8s between Cal and Washington on the men's side. This is an IRA championship event, and it's been competed in the duel off and on, but consistently since 2019. Washington right now has a streak of 3 in a row. These are really impressive boats. For those of us who have been involved in college rowing for a long time, the 3V almost used to have a pejorative concept, but now you're talking about international athletes that are cranking down the course in the 530s.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there is definitely nothing negative about being in a 3V. Again, we talked about, these athletes nipping at the heels of the 2V, and that first varsity 8, a lot of movement that can happen between now and the end of the season, but it's about what you can do today. Here's the lineup for Cal 3V8.
So Washington comes in ranked number 2. So we have rankings now in these last 3 men's events, national rankings. Washington's ranked number 2. They have a single loss on the year to Harvard by about a boat length. Cal comes in undefeated, but ranked number 3. Harvard number 1, also undefeated. We have a couple common opponents already. Whatever, it's information. Whether it's good or not, at least it's information. But Brown has been beaten by both of these crews. Cal beat them by 22 seconds, which is almost hard to believe. Washington beat Brown by 10 seconds a few weeks before Cal raced Brown. Yale maybe is a little more of an indication. Cal has beaten Yale by 16 seconds, and Washington has beaten Yale by 14 seconds.
As we expected, this
we have
is going to be a close one. All right, it's going to be a fast race, fast even in these headwind conditions.
Last year's results, Washington won by 2 seconds, so one of the close races that we had last year.
All right, we have two American rowers in the coxswain seat for both of these boats. Coxswain Connor Eaker out of Annapolis, junior rowing, had a really successful career coxing the women's side of the team as a junior rower. And then Austin Chen coxing the 3v8 at Cal out of El Dorado Hills, rowed at Capital Crew. And quite the scholar athlete. He was a Pac-12 champion in the freshman 8 and made his way to the B4 for the IRAs. Very solid in the 3v8 this season. And right now with this overhead shot, does look like Cal has a 3-seat advantage early on.
And I think that we just got that drone shot, but my sense is that the boats came off the line pretty much even. And I think Cal, now that both crews have settled into what is probably their racing cadence, Cal's moving away a little bit. It's about a 4-seat lead at this point. The interesting thing about the lineups for these two programs in this event, very similar. Cal has 2 seniors, 3 juniors, and 4 sophomores in this event. And Washington counters with 4 seniors, 2 juniors. So they have 6 upperclassmen. Cal has 5. And Washington's got a sophomore and 2 freshmen. So as a coach, you're always looking to see where the 3V and 2V guys, how many years you have left. And both of these crews are fairly experienced. Cal's, this is just, they are working to get every inch, and probably a 5-seat lead still.
And we expected this to be that close as it came down the race course. I've got Cal clocked at 36.5 strokes a minute. I've got Washington at 37.38 strokes a minute.
All right, and here's Washington has held Cal's momentum, actually, and probably cut into that a tiny bit. They're about 3 seats down at this point.
Indeed. Those bows getting a little bit closer, about 2-seat, 3-seat lead right now for California.
And we're past the 750 mark. All right, so what these 18 athletes now are settling into what they know is going to be a slugfest. When you've got a boat that moved a little bit in that first 500 and your opponent has stopped your momentum and you're just digging down on every stroke, coming up on the 1,000-meter mark, coming up to the bridge. California with a 2-seat lead, which represents a little bit of movement by Washington.
Yeah, we'll see if the cheering from the bridge and from the shoreline is a little bit of a bolster of energy for the local boys. We've got quite a few of them in that California boat, but look at how close this is as they come through the bridge, Mark.
Yeah, and this is traditionally a Washington move point, that 1,000-meter mark. Cal knows that. You know, when you have a big pre-planned move, it really can work both ways, right? So if Cal's aware of that and can stop that momentum, then it's a major advantage in a dual race. It looks like Washington did use that move to pull even to Cal. And this is the part of the race course here, 1,200, 1,300 meters. You're by yourself. There's no fans around. There's no close shoreline, and it's just get the blades buried and crank.
Yeah, we're seeing a little bit of the UW coxswain getting a little bit close to that buoy line, maybe crossing over. Getting back into a straightaway there, but taking a look at a little bit of a steering correction there for that Washington boat. Straightaway for California as they try to hold off that charge by Washington, but look at how close it has gotten. And those coxswains really just dead level at this point, maybe slight advantage to Washington with almost 500 meters to go.
You see something like that, and the rowers definitely feel that boat move underneath them. And when they are already in the red zone, which they clearly are at this point in the race course, not only does it cost you a little bit of distance, but your athletes start to get a little bit nervous about the confidence they have in you.
That's right. That adrenaline has got to be focused, and it's got to be just straight away. I've got both crews clocked at 38 strokes a minute coming into the final 300 meters here.
All right, we've got a minute to go to determine the annual rivalry between Cal and Washington. They are stroke for stroke within 2 feet of each other.
Both these crews just pacing each other. 250 meters to go. Cal and Washington almost dead level here.
And at this point, yeah, certainly you want to row well, but at this point it's just about digging in and responding to those calls. The ratings being lifted, but what they're really asking is to empty the tank. And at this point, these 16 rowers are seeing stars. They're wondering when that last stroke is going to come, and they are bow ball for bow ball.
Yeah, and we've got this great side-by-side shot, but from my eye, almost too close to call.
California with a slight lead.
Very slight
California
lead.
at the finish.
Wow, you see the bow person of the cow boat looking across just to make sure. Of course, we won't say anything officially until I get those times up on the screen, but to my eye, that does look like Cal was able to hold on to that lead. Stroke seat, Mihailo Dedic looking as if he's got Eye the Tiger there as he talks to his coxswain. California 3v8 with the win in a time of 5:49.0. Washington in a time of 5:49.9.
So those of us in the International Coxswains Union, we say if there's a race under a second and a half, you might have had a lot to do with that win. And I really think we just saw that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great racing. What a race.
And you look at the faces of these athletes as they look across, and, you know, one of the things we see is a lot of respect. I think they can look at each other and say, well rowed, boys.